Share via email. Report story. By Mio02. Summary. They say that when someone is about to die, the life they lived flashes right before their eyes. But as Izuku takes his fall, all he sees is. Based on Hori's exhibition art posted on February 12, 2021. Dot. This world holds all things uncertain. Unknown and yet to be discovered sites are shrouded in mystery for sure, but even well-known places have its own fair share of secrets. With technology barely progressing and the natural curiosity for answers dissipating with years passing, a lot of things will remain hidden and untouched in the dark. But really, why search for the billions and billions of unknown answers out there, when humanity itself, which exists right here and now and unique to one's self, is one huge mystery? Izuku asks this in the most uncanny timing. Why is his hair fluffed that way even when damp and soaked? Why does his mouth never tire despite the countless words and phrases that left it during his episodic mutters? Why does he have symmetrical freckles on each cheek, 4 dark dots arranged in a diamond formation? Sure, those are probably the weirdest and funniest questions to ask about his humanity, but sometimes those thoughts pass by his mind from time to time. Harmless thoughts that are enough to pique his interest but not enough to trigger his passion into knowing more about it or giving some time to ponder about it. But also, in his day-to-day life, those kinds of questions are better asked, instead of things that are inevitable. Things that are actually certain in this world of uncertainty. Things like, am I going to die? Izuku chuckles bitterly as the air hitting his form starts to feel like thousands of needles grazing his skin, dangerously feeling like consecutive punctures in increasing speed. Ironically, he barely feels that particular pain when his whole body is heavy, falling in despair, and is just ready to meet the ground that is equally prepared to accept whatever his remaining brokenness will be, minutes from now. The question itself is probably the weirdest he has asked in these seconds of focusing on nothing but himself in midair. That is because humans die, and that is a fact. He has not only heard about it or read about it somewhere, but he has witnessed death itself fetch individuals, just leaving a lifeless body that will never wake up from an eternal slumber. With all that, there is not much of a point in asking something that has one true answer. I'm really going to die, aren't I? He smiles while he barely feels it with his swollen face all numb from the battle that just ended. To think that his end would be in the form of falling. How dramatic and tragic. This sure brings him back. Takoba Municipal Beach Park. UA entrance exam. 2 different locations but 3 different instances of him falling all in the same day. If one thing was consistent in that fated day is that someone always saved him from falling. Whenever he looks at the mirror, a part of him thinks and recognizes that he has changed. All the muscles and the scars are testaments to such differences in the old him and the current him. Even the more genuine smile on his face tells him that a lot about him has changed and that only made him happier. Yet this whole fiasco as he descends from the thrones of the blue sky just tells him that maybe he has not learned his lesson. Promoted stories. You'll also like. Ohm Fluke a day 111K 8.2 kiloamperes. Collection of short Ohm Fluke for 365 days. Please check the second book for the rest of the day's update. Izuku's Harem Academia 180K 1.7 Qst. Read. I am. Sequel of You are check mark 69.4K 1.8K. This book is the sequel of You Are So Better. Read that first before going here. Tears of joy, tears of joy. Thank you to that one reader that suggested this title. I can't see you sad face, but thank you. Not all heroes wear capes. Some just have A.42.1K 1.4 kilo. Everybody. This is a suicidal, depressed Deku book with Dadmic. Will their bond grow? Will Mike fuck up? Will Izuku try to kill himself? Find out yourself. Number 1 Radio. Mirko X Shy Male Reader 162K1K. I don't own MHA. I hope you enjoy the story I made. Finished. 8.2K 508 tilde. He save all of them, just a smile plastered on his face before disappearing through the wind. The hero who sings with a smile. 37.2K 361 high. Guys, this is my first story I write on Wattpad. I hope you like it. He gives it all. He breaks himself until nothing is left of him. Then he falls. Except this time, no one is here to save him. Not when he himself cannot move anymore. Not when he cannot even twitch a finger. But he has accepted it. He honestly did not think that this will be his end. He still has so many things he wants to do in his life. He has yet to achieve all his dreams or all the things he would still be dreaming about. Yet, he surrenders himself. Izuku refuses to think that he threw away a life he could have had. Especially when he knows that what he did is the right thing to do. And so, in his last moments of not being a hero, but just a mere powerless human falling to his death, why not ask more questions? Instead of filling his mind with regrets and the could have beens, maybe he can find the answers to his humanity's questions as he counts every tick of the clock of what is remaining. They say that when one is about to die, their life flashes right before their eyes. Seconds reflect all the years they lived, like a theater replaying it like a film. In that sense, Izuku should be thinking about All Might, the footage of him that he has memorized since he was a kid, the way they met, the way he got one for all, and the way they grew closer, much like a part of his family. He should be thinking about his parents, the people who brought him to this world. He should be seeing the tears in their eyes and their joyous faces of raising him as he takes his very first step. Just the thought tugs on his heart and sends a kick to his gut. He has failed these figures in his life, but he knows that they will understand. Aizawa sensei is right. He really is such a problem child. He just hopes that the very man would forgive him and would not blame himself. He might have that exterior, but Izuku knows well how much he cares about his students, and he is more than happy to have been under his care. Izuku should be hearing the cries and whines of his classmates. Tearful and worried faces, but also relieved expressions, welcomed him whenever he woke up in a hospital bed. Every time he went home with scratches as a kid, only his mom would tend to him as he lied that he just fell down. But everyone in Class A, no matter how many bruises they too get in their own battles, and no matter how much they are used to him being hospitalized, they always make sure to make him feel that he is cared for like a true friend. His comrades in this path to being a hero are also the people who made him feel that he belonged. He hopes that they would forgive him too. Well, someone from class would probably not. He should probably be seeing Kachan right now in his mind, wearing his usual scowl. He is that childhood friend he has always looked up to for many, many years. Until now, Izuku chuckles, slightly choking in the process when blood comes out of his mouth, the thick droplets sticking at the corner of his mouth. Well, Kachan, as promised, you can kill me when I'm dead. The blonde threatened him that if he never came back and died, he'd be dead meat. He can remember Kachan's words and yet his mind is still not seeing him nor focusing on his memories with him. If not for the zooming in urban cityscape, Izuku would have probably laughed openly. But instead of that, his bruised lips only form this small curve as his green eyes soften. He feels his swollen lids relax as his gaze continues to view the welcoming still and tall parade of gray buildings, but his mind flies to somewhere else. Izuku closes his eyes, surrendering himself to what is to come. Humans are all bound to die. Truth be told, death has knocked on his door so many times before, but he never felt like giving up. He never had the instance and luxury of time to be thinking of dying. Except now he just feels exhausted and for the first time in many years, helpless. He could not feel his arms that miraculously remain intact no matter how much his limbs feel like paper about to be torn off his rugged frame. As much as he wants to continue living, only his consciousness remains alive at this point. And if he is to choose how he would die, it would be best to keep himself thinking of the important things in this short life. That is why he should be seeing a lot more of those pieces of happiness instead of asking the weirdest questions, right? He should be seeing memories about the different experiences that built and honed him all these years. He should be seeing remnants of the people important to him and that pushed him forward. He should be seeing all the things that made him happy. Meeting All Might, training and cleaning the beach, passing the UA entrance examination, his mom supporting him and giving him his costume, finding friends, meeting more, passing the licensure exam, saving people, fulfilling his dream, or at least the initial parts of it, and yet, only one thing occupies and fills the hollowness. He whispers it, and instead of feeling himself wince whenever he opened his mouth at such a sorry state, something else washes over him. The words do not leave him, just carefully protected by his sealed lips. Perhaps it can be likened to a treasure he refuses to let go at this moment. Or maybe those words are his secrets that he would rather bring to his grave than let free in the air if it is only him that would hear. For those words are not for him but for somebody else. All this time, as the wind beats up his battered body, his mind and heart only want to see one thing. One person. Kind brown eyes that look similar to warm blots of honey whenever the sun shines by it, full cheeks, naturally rosy and just adorably round and maybe soft if he had the chance to touch. Smiling lips that take away all his doubts and worries, just unlocking every bit of hidden confidence lying inside of him. A smile that tells him that she trusts him with all her heart and that he can do it. Even with eyes closed and even with his sense of feeling failing him, pain engulfs him, and it is quite different than what should be seething to his broken bones and torn muscles. It is the kind of pain that shatters him from the inside and makes his chest ache, not because of injury. It is the kind of pain that asks him, "Why didn't you tell her what you feel before you left to fight?" Uraraka-san. He manages to say, battling for his breath being caught in between his tightening throat. "Why didn't I?" Before setting off, she stopped him, fingers lightly pulling on his dirty sleeve. Her hands are full of bruises, just like the rest of her tattered hero suit. Even without saying anything, he could tell what she wanted to tell him, but noticing the fire in his eyes, she let go and chose to cheer him on with that smile of hers. Izuku would lie if he will not admit that he felt a click of temptation to stay. For her. But he didn't. Instead, he looked at her and smiled back to assure her. At the same time, it felt as if it was the last that he could do that. "I should have at least told you that. Uraraka-san. And just like a summoning magic spell that should be non-existent in this world of quirks, he hears. Deku-kun. Instantly, Izuku opens his eyes, the well-kept tears being released. There she is floating towards him in a speed that is meant to meet him and his falling body. Deku-kun. She shouts again, and each syllable gives his heart a pound, like CPR, demanding and telling him to live. Humans are indeed mysterious beings. Even when he couldn't control his limbs before, even when his body is as limp as a wooden puppet with strings cut and that's about to be thrown away, he manages to reach out to her with his right hand that barely looks like one with such ugly discoloration. Deku-kun. She calls again, louder this time as she gets nearer and nearer until her hand reaches out to his. That hand that always saves him. She's here. She's really here. Uraraka-san. She grasps his hand, as tender as possible, and when she does, the harsh air that's been penetrating him turns to a familiar gentle breeze that caresses and envelops the two of them. Izuku looks at his surroundings that have stopped threatening his life. Everything is suddenly warm as if he is protected by this bubble of safety that only she could give him. All because of a touch of a hand that he can feel seeping through his skin and reaching the inner depths of him. Even with such a state where he can't, or shouldn't be able to feel anything, her warmth radiates and before tears can even well up his eyes once more, she speaks and beats him to it. I wasn't able to tell you but, she tells him while trying to laugh even if her voice is trembling. I'd come for you. I want to save you. Tears dance around her like precious pearl drops forming in the air between them. She gives him her biggest and brightest smile as if telling him that it's okay. That he's safe now that she trusts him with all her heart. That he could do it. Even if she did not tell him that directly, he feels it in his chest that is about to burst with many emotions through their connected hands, the feeling of being back. To her, the feeling of being safe. With her, Uraraka-san. She nods at him, the brown strands of her hair following her movement, a part of her charm, really, that never fails to make him smile at just the sight. If he has the right to do it, he would have loved to caress her cheeks or to brush away her hair, tuck it behind her ear, just keep it away from her face to see it more in full view, to verify that she is really here for him. Of course, Izuku would never in his whole life think that he can do that even at such a crucial moment, even if he wants to, so he just tells her, I'm back. Her smile becomes softer, tears continuing to leave her but still not out of melancholy or the expressions he always fears for her to wear. This one is out of relief, out of unexplainable joy that only that tender smile can communicate to him. Welcome back, Deku-kun. Izuku knows that this world is full of mysteries. And it really is. He doesn't know why they keep on staring at each other, drowning in each other's presence as they ride the air, weightless, as if they are the only two people in the world even in this brief moment. He doesn't know why they slowly pull into each other, not breaking eye contact, foreheads brushing before they find shelter in each other's shoulder, arms encircling their battle-shaped bodies. He doesn't know why he keeps on saying that he doesn't know. When all this time, even before he engaged in the battle, the answer has always been known and has been screaming in his veins. I fell in love with you and I want to come back to you. Izuku, the most selfless person, only has one selfish wish. Please let me come back to you. Where stories live. Discover now.